Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? This is Love from Hanging Out with Love, of course. Y'all see the shirts. Hashtag Hanging Out with Love. I may come out with some apparel soon. Hello, Journey. How are you? May come out with some apparel. Today's topic is, why don't you think you're worth it? OMG, I love this look. Oh, thank you. Makes me feel dangerous. Thank you so much. Why don't you think you're worth it, Journey? I'm doing well. I had a very productive day. I don't know what's going on with me, but lately, I still wake up around the same time, really early. But then I go to bed later, and I don't know what's going on. Hey, Key. So I'm trying to figure out, what my new sleep schedule is going to look like. Because right now, I don't know about myself. I have a lot going on. A lot's changing around me, I guess. So my body's just adapting to that. But in a good way. I feel good. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this video. I want to start with the topic, why don't you think you're worth it? And I'm asking this question because I noticed a lot of women have issues when it comes to investing in themselves. So there are people who say, well, I like spending money on other people. I can get other people more expensive gifts or spend money for dinner for other people, but I don't want to do that for myself. And it's like, why don't you think you're worth it? Or you see an item that you really need in a store and you're like, oh, but I don't want to spend money on that. Something that can make your livelihood easier, make your life easier, make your life run smoother, where you won't have to stress about certain things, but you won't get it. A new part for your car, maybe something that makes you look better, look more feminine as a woman. Maybe you're avoiding going shopping to improve your wardrobe. And this is not for the people who are just like, hey, Jamasian. This is not for the people who are like, I just don't have the money. This is for the people who have the money but refuse to invest in themselves. Hey, Cooper. And so if you don't feel like you deserve to be invested in, why do you think a man would invest in you? Why should he come out of his pocket and treat you like a queen and wine and dine you and take you shopping and spoil you and give you nice gifts if you won't even do that for yourself? Yes, that was me. I'm starting to realize I matter too. It's okay to give myself the same love I give to others. Absolutely. And it's not just okay, it's necessary. Because if I'm no good to myself, if I can't be good to me, nobody else can be good to me. And you really do teach other people how to treat you. So it's just like, if a man sees that every time you get hungry, you're like, oh, I don't want to spend too much money, so let's just go to Chick-fil-A. Or, babe, how much did that cost? No, you don't have to spend all of that money on me. How do you think that you're training him to treat you? It's not going to end well. I can promise you that. Because there's going to come a time where your feminine nature kicks in and you start to crave certain things that he's not giving you. And it's because you've trained him to not do that. So now he feels like, since she'll accept this, this is what I'm going to give her. So true. Definitely is. Definitely is. So why don't you think you're worth it, ladies? And so I'll start with the point, don't be afraid to ask for help. I run into this a lot where people inbox me and they're like, well, how do you ask a man for money? How do you tell a man that you need him to come fix something? Or, how do you ask a man for help? How do you ask for help at a restaurant? You call the waiter or the waitress's attention and you tell them what you need and you expect to get whatever you ask for. What's the difference? But then if this person needs you for anything, you're quick to jump up, you're quick to answer your phone, you're quick to run and meet their very need. Why? Do not treat other people better than you treat yourself. It doesn't make sense. And essentially, you're selling yourself short because, again, you're teaching them how to treat you. And eventually, you're going to want more. You're going to want that to be reciprocated. And it's also not sustainable. So think about this. If every time I have to go somewhere, you are taking your car, right? So you pick me up from my house, take me everywhere I need to go, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, your car is going to start to wear out and you're going to need someone else to help you. You understand? Because you're not maintaining yourself. You're not checking your tires. You're not checking the oil. You're not making sure all your fluids are good before you pull off. You're just jumping up and handling that person's every need, right? So I'm good because I have everything I need, but you're suffering. My vehicle is storing up energy. It's chilling. The fluids are good. It's clean. My tires are good because I'm not always burning myself up and using all of my resources. So think about yourself as a vehicle. What do I need for my maintenance? So that's number one. Don't be afraid to ask for help. The second thing, don't be afraid to pay for help. So this is another thing. Some of y'all are just a little bit too cheap, babe. I'm going to be honest with you. You invest in things that don't mean as much. Like I'll see people buy really expensive phones, like out of pocket, not a payment plan, out of pocket, right? And I know I have the latest iPhone too. I didn't pay for it, but I like nicer things too, right? So therefore, I'm going to get what I believe is nice, what I deem I deserve. However, I'm very meticulous about how I go about doing things. So don't be afraid to pay for what you want. Let's say you date somebody, right? And you're like, babe, I really want this purse. And he tells you no. Break up with him. And then be willing to go get it for yourself. Why would I be afraid to spend money on me? Why would I be afraid to go pay extra at a restaurant because I get better service? You know what's cheap? McDonald's, Wendy's, Bojangles. A more expensive fast food restaurant would be Chick-fil-A. But guess what? Their service is impeccable. I'm going to pay for that good experience. I don't want to have lunch and be in a bad mood when I get back home because somebody was rude to me that hates their life. But guess what? When they train their employees at Chick-fil-A, they train them not to bring their problems into the workplace. So then you don't have to deal with that. Other places don't have that same training system. So pay a little extra and go to the nice area of town. Pay a little extra so that you can be in an environment and an ambiance that fits who you want to be. I like being on the bougie side of town. I like living over here. I like dining over here. And I like the fact that I know I belong here. When I go into a nice restaurant, I don't feel out of place. This is where I belong. This is what I like. This is where I thrive. So if you find yourself uncomfortable in these kinds of environments, if you find yourself grudgingly handing over your money when you're paying for quality, that is indicative of a deeper problem. So every day you have to do affirmations and tell yourself, I'm worth it. I'm worth the money I spend on myself. I'm worth other people spending money on me. I deserve the finer things in life. I have the finer things in life. Manifest it. Or those people that go on a shopping spree at Dollar Tree but end up spending $100 anyway. Always thought that was weird, LOL. Well, I will be so honest. I love Dollar Tree. But guess what? There are certain things that I'm not going to buy there. Because it's not always good quality. And it's all about the quality, right? So like, for instance, I'm not buying Dollar Tree tissue, right? I like Charmin or Angel Soft. That's my favorite. Because their tissue paper is 1-ply. It's thin, pieces break off. I don't feel clean when I use it. I have to go behind it with an extra wipe or two. And it's just like, why do I have to have this and an extra set of wipes just to clean myself? I should only have to wipe one time. But because their tissue paper is so thin and I didn't invest in quality, that's an issue. And this is why you can't date cheap men. You have to think about this. Think about the type of person who continuously doesn't spend money, doesn't invest in even themselves to make their lives better. I'm not talking about just selfish men who will buy themselves the finer things and won't do things for you. I'm talking about men who literally penny pinch and they're holding on to every little cent. And you go out to eat and they're like, oh, you're not going to take that to go. That gets on my nerves. If I wanted to take my food to go, then I would do that, right? I would take it if I really felt like it was that serious. But if I leave my meal here, then I left it here and that's fine as well. You know? People are weird. But anyway, don't be afraid to pay for help. Don't be afraid to pay extra. So like, you guys know I just moved. I told you that I did not pay an arm and a leg for everything that I had. I just did not do that. I paid the least amount of money for the most quality I could get, but I still paid extra because it's quality, right? So for instance, with my bed set, I got a new bed frame, I got a dresser, a chest, and a side table. I paid top dollar for that because I wanted something specific. I wanted the nice gray wood. I love the color. I wanted to pay extra for delivery so it could get here and still be neat in the packaging. And I also paid extra so that somebody could put it together for me because I care about where I sleep. I care about the room, the space that I'm in. I want it to be peaceful. I want it to look beautiful. That makes me happy when I can be comfortable in my bed. So no, I'm not gonna get a cheap $30, $100 mattress. No, because I care about where I sleep. Certain things you have to invest in. And if you guys didn't see my video the other day, quality versus, what was it? No, expensive versus quality. That is on my YouTube channel. Go watch it. Because I really broke down like the difference between something that is expensive and something that is quality. And it matters, right? So next, don't be afraid to change. A lot of people have issues with switching things up. They don't want to go against the grain. They're afraid of how people will look at them and how they'll be perceived. They're afraid of how they're going to feel when they make certain changes, because when you start to value yourself better, it can be very uncomfortable because you don't feel like you deserve it until you continuously make it a practice, and then it becomes innate, like you don't even think about giving yourself the best, right? So don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to say, this is not working for me. Now, if the way you live, the way you carry yourself, the way you maneuver with other people, the way other people are treating you, if that's okay with you, by all means continue, because you may be exactly where you want to be. But if you know that what you're doing right now is not working for you, the practices that you have, the mentality that you have, your lack of investment into self, you need to fix that. Because I promise you, you're going to get exactly what you put in. Whatever you pour into yourself is what's going to come out, period. Her Majesty. Hey girl, lipstick is gorgeous. Thank you. This is Royal Matte by MAC, or Matte Royal. I think it's Matte Royal, but yeah, I love this color. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You're worth it. Other people will know that you are worth it once you know that you're worth it. And when you know that you're worth it, you will not allow other people to treat you like you are not worth it. And it is whatever you want it to be. If you know that you are worth getting all of your bills paid, you are worth it. I know I'm worth it. Which is why if I ever break up with a guy, I'm telling you, like, this right here is the longest I've ever been single, of course, because of good old COVID-19. But I've always historically taken long periods of time to get back into another relationship, unless I met someone soon after who fit the attributes that I wanted. He has to be a provider. He has to. He has to respect me. He has to. He has to spoil me. He has to. It's not negotiable. It's not something that I'm willing to compromise on. How dare you come into my life and tell me how you're going to treat me? No, this is what you're going to do, or you won't be here. Period. You will not be in my life with this behavior. Right? So I want you guys to have that same mindset. I am worth it. I'm going to give myself what I deserve. And once I change my frequency and my energy up so that other people know what I deserve as well, I will not accept anything less. And that's just that on that. So the last thing I wanted to tell you guys, I'm done with this segment, but the last thing I wanted to tell you was that I'm going to have a segment called Talk to Me Tuesdays. So today's Tuesday, as you can see, and this is the day where all of the questions that come to my inbox will be answered. I can't reach everyone. I'm definitely not going to be able to get to every single question, but I want to give a specific day so that you won't miss me when I go live, because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I was asleep, or you went on too early, I was at work. And so I found that coming on at night is better for me, because then I can make sure that I am live and I interact with you all. But I also want to answer your questions. So Talk to Me Tuesdays will be the platform for that. Hey Tyra. So yeah, I'm about to go ahead and end this live. Of course, it will be on my YouTube channel, so I'll go ahead and put the notification on my story so that you know when it's posted. Anytime you see that logo that pops up, like with YouTube and my name, and it says the new video, there's a new video posted. Sounds self-explanatory, but I have to say things like that. And then yeah, from now on, Talk to Me Tuesdays will be the day where your questions get answered. So make sure that you're here on Tuesdays so that you can catch me live. And then if not, just DM me your question if you know, like, you won't be awake at night, and I can answer it, and then you can just watch it the next day on my YouTube. All right, I love you guys. Bye.